As an advice to students, I would say that they must focus on the basics to start with. So it's better to have a strong basis in the object-oriented programming languages like Java or C++. Then study a bit of Python and become really good at algorithms. But I would also like to encourage people, like since they are in college, they should explore all the fields. They should explore the idea of entrepreneurship, looking at something which fascinates them, some field they would like to work in. There are a lot of open source projects available. There are companies which sponsor you if you're willing to work on open source as your internship. So those are things students can explore. And during the summer breaks, students can focus on doing exploring various fields, doing small projects, going for like internships in institutes or companies which give them exposure to different.
Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of Engineering First. This is Sanhati Goswami, project lead at Perfect, and I hope our video blog series have been reaching you all to the best extent. Today we have Bhavya Pruthi. Bhavya Pruthi is currently working as a senior software engineer at a technology company based in Bangalore while handling web application development and SPA model projects. An IIT graduate with BTech in computer science, Bhavya is here to absorb us in his professional journey and give us some extensive ideas on some in-demand technologies in the industry and the skills required for working with such technology trends. So let's welcome Bhavya Pruthi on Engineering First and see what he has to say on his journey so far.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. So it's really nice to see you finally on Engineering First.
Yes, nice to see you as well.
Yeah. So, Bhavya, tell us about your journey from IIT, your learnings and takeaways from IIT, that have
Yes.
helped you to pursue a professional career at the company that you're currently working.
Okay, so like my journey, I can say started in around class 10th when I decided to prepare for JEE. So I participated in a competition. It is called the Kishore Vaigyanik Protsahan Yojana. It is organized by IISc Bangalore. And so they attend, so people who qualify that exam, they organize a camp for them. So when I was in class 12th, I attended a 1 week camp, and that really motivated me to pursue technical education full time after my class 12. So then after graduating from class 12th, I joined IIT BHU in Varanasi. So the college was founded in 1919 along with the Banaras Hindu University. In 2012, it became an independent Indian Institute of Technology IIT. So I joined there in 2013, and it was a wonderful experience. It has a large sprawling campus, uh, lots of student activities, great academics, and so I spent 4 years there. Beyond academics, I participated in a lot of activities. I became a club secretary, and other than that, in if you since this is specific to engineering, I'll mention like I worked on distributed computing projects. I took uh, I studied a lot of courses in artificial intelligence. I took a basic AI course, and I took a natural language processing course, and I also studied computer vision. So it gave me a good platform to launch my career. And now for 4 years, I've been working as a engineer. I've been promoted once, and after in a few months, I'm currently I'm quitting my job, and I'm pursuing MBA full time.
Okay. So that's really great to know about you, Bhavya. As you told that you have, undertaken a lot of projects while you were studying and also during your
Yes.
professional journey, especially artificial intelligence, then language processing tools and stuff.
Yes.
So, according to that, I mean, based on your experience, what would you like to tell to the audience about what are the in-demand technologies and the trends that have been going on in the technology industry, which are very important, or I would say which are very essential to have as an engineer today.
Okay, so the growth of artificial intelligence is mainly linked to all the algorithms we use and all the theory we use. A lot of them, the papers for that and the research for that was done in the 80s and the 90s. But what has changed in the last 15 years is thanks to the Moore's law, uh, processors and storage has really become more affordable, and on every PC we can see and even on mobile phones, wearable devices, what we can see is that the uh, processing ability of individual devices has increased tremendously, and due to this the capabilities of artificial intelligence has really increased in the in the last 15 years. So this is definitely something which is in demand. And other than that, in the network sphere, we will have 5G, which will create, it will increase the bandwidth for the average retail user. So, for example, something like holograph technology or cars communicating with each other, autonomous cars. The current barrier is that the amount of information transmission that something like that needs is high. But with 5G coming in, the speeds available will increase tremendously.
Okay, all right.
So, for as an advice to students, I would say that they must focus on the basics to start with. So, uh, it's better to have a strong basis in understanding the object-oriented programming languages like Java or C++. Then study a bit of Python and become really good at algorithms, because if you apply for tech jobs, it is most of the interviews are algorithmic skills unless you're applying for a data scientist role. So I would advise like students to focus on the knowledge of data structures and algorithms.
Okay. Okay. So, Bhavya, as you come from, a computer science technology background, so in a note of that, you have given, a suggestion to put emphasis on Java, Python algorithms, right? So, moving forward and, keeping a track of it, would you like to give us an insight into, what works the best for the R&D team in the technology industry? Specifically the current in-demand trends in the technology industries as far as working in a company is concerned, a technology company is concerned.
Okay, so as I explained in my previous answers as well, that the recruiting pattern, if you see, is mostly around algorithms, data structures, and depending on if the job requires machine learning, there will be a few interview rounds for that as well. Uh, but what is common for all jobs is that lot of ACM ICPC contests are there. Like if somebody is in college and they want to participate, there are a lot of programming websites also which host similar competitions weekly or monthly. So students participating in them will give them the exposure, and if they do that for a couple of years during their BTech, it will give them slowly they will develop the skills. The only thing is that you need some tenacity. Like even if you participate, and initially it might be intimidating, but what I would encourage students to do is just keep going, and eventually they will develop the skills. And if you don't enjoy programming competitions, a lot of people enjoy programming competitions and they like to achieve the right answer. If you don't enjoy that and you like building stuff, you can also focus on uh, projects. So there are a lot of open source projects available. There are companies which sponsor you if you're willing to work on open source as your internship. So those are things students can explore.
Great, great. I think Bhavya, when you say that, when you give the suggestion on, hunting for open source projects and also for sponsorships, it's a great insight that you have been, giving out to all the students. Coming back to the interview topic, what do you think? What are the most common technical questions that are asked in interviews for engineers?
Okay, so it is algorithms and OOPS. OOPS is object-oriented programming. So these are the most common topics which are generally seen. So students can go to any interview preparation website. They can look at array question, trees question, graph questions, uh, maybe a bit of dynamic programming as well. So these are the questions which are generally commonly asked
Okay,
in
great.
interviews.
Okay. So, Bhavya, coming back to your professional journey now, it will be really great to know about the challenges that you have faced as an engineering student and your experiences layering under such challenges, and how have these challenges and experiences have helped you to cope up with your professional journey while working at the company.
Okay, so if I start with college, so for me, the I did not study programming in school. A lot of people have they are optional subjects in class 11th and 12th, but I didn't have the opportunity to take them at that point in time. So for me, initially to start with, during the first year, it was that a lot of people came with the programming background, but as soon as I entered college and as soon as I started doing my first programming courses, I felt that that is something which might sound intimidating, but you should not worry about. And most programming courses in college during the first semester are designed for students who are absolutely new to programming and uh, are learning it from scratch. So once that challenge was so that what that taught me was that especially in the field of programming, there are a lot of new technologies. For example, if you work with JavaScript, there are a lot of frameworks that come up regularly. So it is a continuous learning process, and what you but the core basics of computer science are always the same. So I would like suggest students that you work on the core basics of computer science for you, and once you're good in those things, new technologies, new frameworks, new languages will keep coming. But if you're good with your core basics, it is easy to grasp those things. And the next challenge, honestly, is that when you are looking for a BTech project, there are a lot of exciting fields and uh, which field to work in. So, in the final year, I would suggest like during the second year and the third year and during the summer breaks, students can focus on doing exploring various fields, doing small projects, going for like internships in institutes or companies which give them exposure to different fields. And once you have that exposure in your final year, you do a project which something which could be something you're uh, truly interested in. So that is what I think is the like in the initial part, it is that you might be new to programming in college. During the second part, you might feel that a lot of new things are coming, but I would suggest that you focus on your core basics. And finally, when you're graduating, you need to look for a good project a year before. So I would suggest that you spend your second and third year looking at various fields so that you find a good project.
Right. I think, Bhavya, when you say in terms of two aspects, having the fundamental core basics clear and
Yes.
focusing on programming language, and then we have got projects, final year projects, which is an important aspect of BTech degree. So I believe this is something that has given you the success through your first break, and that has been a great suggestion that you have given that you are giving to our students community. Okay. Along with that, I would like to know about a remarkable experience from a professional journey.
Okay, so they have been so during college. I There's a person named Brianna Struster. So he wrote the original CPP language. He wrote the first compiler for it, and he has a famous book on C++. So uh, when I was in college, he came to give a talk, and I was a part of the organizing team for that festival. So after the talk, I interviewed him for my college newspaper. I took him around Varanasi. We took him on a boat ride. So there are a lot of riverside restaurants in Varanasi. So I went there with him. He explained about his professional journey. Like he was born somewhere in Scandinavia, then and from there he's so he's been in the industry for a long time. I think so. He wrote the language in the 70s, and since then he's been working. So he really shared a rich experience with me. So that has been a really good experience for me. Other than that, I have participated in a few conferences, so that was also a great experience because it helped me meet people who are working in the same field but on different ideas and in different areas. So that was also good, a great opportunity.
Okay, great, great. So, Bhavya, as you told us that you're going to pursue MBA. So, how do you think that your technical expertise, and then once you complete your MBA, you will have managerial expertise as well. So, how do you think you are going to get along with both things? How is it going to help you in the technology industry? And what is your vision?
So
What is the vision of yourself in the technology industry?
okay, so the reason I'm pursuing an MBA is because in the last 8 years as a software engineer, the core has always been like how to build this and how to build this the best. And it is I'm pursuing an MBA because what also fascinates me is like why are we building this? Who is if we're building this, who is this helping? How is it helping them? What value is it adding to their lives? Like if they're not happy with this and they're moving to another product, what is the reason? So as a software engineer, these questions always fascinated me, and I always enjoyed looking at the analytics and seeing how many people are turning into them. So the reason I'm pursuing an MBA is because I want to move to a role where these things become a core focus of my responsibilities,
Yeah. Okay.
and that is why I'm looking for fields such as product management and strategy. Of course, like once I move to the college, I'll be looking to explore and understand various roles from various people. So I'm always open to exploring other fields, but currently this was the primary reason why I chose to pursue.
Okay, okay. When you say about how can this be done? How can this be done under the product strategy thing? So that's a very I think very significant vision of you to have yourself and in the technology industry. And when you say that while you make a product, while you build a product in the technology industry, it is very important to to understand the fact that how is it going to how the product is going to help a lot of people in bulk, right? So that's very important, and it's a very significant vision, Bhavya, for which you have also told that analytics is very important. That's a great message. And with that, I would like to ask you last question, not actually question, but I would want you to send out a message to the engineers community out there.
Okay, so like to other people who are currently in college and are looking to start their career as an engineer, what I would like to tell is that of course, like most of the people will join tech jobs, and currently they are considered, like a lot of people are looking at that area. But I would also like to encourage people, like since they are in college, they should explore all the fields. They should explore the idea of entrepreneurship, looking at something which fascinates them, some field they would like to work in. And because as software engineers, it's easier to have an impact at scale. And if you have an idea on how you can create that impact, you can scale what you want to do. And other than that, another message I would like to say is that you can, as a software engineer, you can give back to the society as well. So, like when I was in college, I got an opportunity to work with the NGO. So, what they do is that they focus on early child, like recruiting, or not exactly recruiting, but enrollment. They focus at like low age enrollment, like children who are supposed to enroll in the first class. They try to go to far-flung communities and get those students to enroll. So they were working on they were working purely on a paper and pen model. So they were not able to scale it up. So I worked with them for a couple of weeks. I helped them with an application so that they could collect data more efficiently, and that helped them like scale up their operations significantly. So another message I would like to give is that besides entrepreneurship, you can also look at areas where you can directly make an impact.
Okay.
So that will be really fulfilling for you as somebody who's a student or even as a professional.
Okay. So Bhavya, that's a great message. Entrepreneurship is very essential nowadays. Not just because of the economy, for the economy, also, it's a way. I just say that, it's also important to giving back to the society. I think entrepreneurship is one of the ideal way to give back to the society because it's a way of finding the opportunity or a gap in the society in which people find it very difficult to manage, and that's where you find the opportunity and you build an idea, you build a product. And I think technology
Yes.
industry, since every industry is now technology oriented, so I think technology industry is the leading force of all these entrepreneurship ideas, right? That's great, Bhavya. It was amazing to have you on Engineering First. No, thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Have a good
Great
day.
talking to you. Bye.
An IIT graduate and soon going to pursue MBA, Bhavya Pruthi has given us some amazing insights into his vision towards the industry. If you loved watching this episode with Bhavya, then please like this video, share it with your friends and colleagues, and motivate the entire community of engineers. Thank you.